My name is Mark Muller. My company, TopoGen, is a biomedical enterprise, and we started as an anti-cancer drug development company. We had, basically what we do is related to the research that I've done over the years in academia, and it has to do with using so-called enzyme targets to develop novel drug strategies to create the next anti-cancer compound that's going to be effective clinically. So we're a preclinical group, and we do we make our income stream, make our money in three areas. The company makes money by selling products to other investigators in what we call a tech transfer format, so that they can do the kinds of experiments we do for drug development. And those reagents are sold as kits. There's antibodies, there's enzymes and such, and DNA targets. And that's on our website, www.topogen.com. And the second area where we make our money is we're a CRO, that stands for a contract research organization. And we outsource from like Big Pharma. They will contact us. They want us to screen a raft of drugs. Their chemists make these compounds. They don't know what they do. They want us to screen it mechanistically to find hits. And that process is, write a contract and get it approved, and they pay us to do that. It's very lucrative. Then the third area, we get federal grants, largely SBIR grants, but there are others too. And these are small business grants to allow us to develop new products out on the horizon for the next wave of R&D products that we're going to produce. These are all what we call research use only products, so they cannot be used clinically. That's kind of the package that we're working on for keeping the lights on and maintaining. What we have here is roughly about $1 million worth of equipment. Has to be maintained and put on service contracts, and those contracts are expensive. So we have to have a way of offsetting those costs, and that's what we do. The future, I think, for us is in some neurological work, and we've developed some technologies that are related to Alzheimer's disease, and we have actually developed a blood test that we think will detect Alzheimer's at an early stage. And that's work that's very much on the horizon and is subject to funding, so that we hope to get funded on that work from NIH through the peer review process. So it's not, you can't go up to these guys with snake oil, it has to be real science. And so those grants are being evaluated as we speak. One thing I learned that's important, and I think it's worth noting, is that you need to be a player that helps everybody get some kind of upgrade. Because again, you want to be a contributor, not a consumer. Because people here, and I'm sensitive to this, the folks at this airport, for example, or wherever in city government, they're going to have to do extra work, and they're not getting compensated. So it has to be on a goodwill basis. The best way to make that happen is to show, that you've done the extra work to get additional funding and resources for the town. So one of the things that I see is getting back to this concept of contributing and giving back, to our community is I run an internship program. I get high school students, and I've had university students that come in the summer that want to learn about what it's like to work in a biotech lab, what it's like to try to do science that's producing science products for other researchers. So, that's part of it. So educational component there. The other thing is I'm really interested in attracting other companies, because if we can get other kind of birds of a feather to come in, then that will allow us to grow our business and work with other companies and create strategic alignments that benefit everybody. And in the process, if we're resourceful about it, we can actually go to the federal government and actually get funding for this kind of thing. All this equipment we have, so some of this, like our live imaging equipment, is expensive, and it has to be maintained, as I said, but others can use this, and they're not going to go out and have to buy it. So if we can create a high-tech incubator here in Chaffee County, we can put this in as a core equipment piece, and others can use it. So it really is kind of a shareholder approach to the scientific enterprise, because we want to be able to get those good jobs, to attract those companies that want to come here but have no place to land. There's no wet labs in Chaffee County except here. And so, you know, this is something, and some of this equipment, and we have other pieces of equipment in here that are quite expensive and quite high tech. Our flow cytometry, for example, which is what we use lasers to analyze gene expression in tumor cells. So this equipment was purchased by going to OEDIT and getting state funding, and this needs to go back to be put to use to help our community, to help the state. And so I'm sensitive to that, and I appreciate what they've done for us. So this kind of equipment, we're talking $100,000 to $150,000 worth of equipment that can be used, right now and this stuff is used by a lot of different labs, not just people that do what we do. It can be used for people that do bacteriology. It could be used for everything from soil microbiology to parasitology to, a wide swath of biomedical R&D. And if we can create the space, we can attract these companies, they can utilize our core equipment so they don't have to purchase this. That opens up the system to getting in startup companies that are grassroots. They'll come in, they'll have their own staff. There'll be just a couple of people initially, and I'll offer business advice, and we'll create an environment to allow them to grow. And we'll be selective. We're going to have a scientific advisory board, and we'll have a business board. And right now the model is to try to use existing space here in Chaffee County. I don't want to get into specifics, but we're working on a plan to utilize existing infrastructure and go to a federal program to create this so-called STEM incubator. So that's a high priority, at least for me right now. So that's kind of the big picture and the big give back, if you will, that I'd like to see bootstrap everybody up in this. And it's like that adage, if you build it, they will come. But there's no place for them to go right now. If companies want to come here, there's a lot of young companies out there, IT companies, drone companies, UAS. They would come to a place like this. It's attractive, but they don't have a place to go. And these companies are not likely going to just go into some strip mall somewhere. Here at the airport, we have security, we have cameras, we have no public access. So when I write federal grants, I have to put in there, what's your security measures? What do you have to make sure things are done right and safe and there's no biohazards? Well, a big box has to be checked because we have security lights, we have a gated access, and we have cameras everywhere and so forth. So this helps us be competitive at a national level for federal funding, and I think we can play that card and take advantage of it.